From San Bernardino, California, all the way to your ears, I want to thank each and every single individual that is now tuning in to the Team Hit Squad podcast. My name is Lloyd Knox, and you are all a wonderful audience. Now, before we get this entire thing started, I want to give a quick shout out to all the sponsors. Anabolix Skate, you can check them out at anabolixskate.com. When you use Hit Squad TV, you get yourself 10% off. EmpireSkateShop.com, same deal. When you use Hit Squad TV as your code word, you get yourself 10% off. RollerCon.com. All of the passes are on sale right now, and I don't know how long they will last. So if you are planning to go to RollerCon in Las Vegas, Nevada, you better get them ASAP because they are cheap right now. Is it July yet? Motaskates.com, for the skater, by the skater. Make sure you check them out. And last but not least, BigOTournament.com. It's coming this May 3rd to May 5th to be exact. And the teams that are going so far are, this is the list for WFTDA teams: Boston Roller Derby, Denver, Dock City, Evil, Montreal, Sacramento, Sailor City, Victoria, and of course, Montreal. My apologies. The 3-time defending world champions, Rose City. Sorry, I had the names right next to each other, so my eyes got a little confused. MRDA teams, we have Denver Ground Control, Drive-By City Rollers, Penn Jersey Roller Derby, Portland Men's Roller Derby, Puget Sound Outcast, San Diego Aftershocks, and the Vancouver Murder. And junior teams, we have Los Anarchists, Pile of Bones Roller Derby, Rose City Rosebuds, Santa Cruz Derby Groms, Seattle Derby Brats. So make sure you get your tickets now at BigOTournament.com. They also are going to be live streaming it, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. We currently have Team Hit Squad shirts available, the Team Hit Squad original shirt, as well as the Just Spin Mr. Testosterone shirt. They're both on sale right now, $20, ships worldwide. All I need is your name, your size, your address, and you can send those $20 straight to paypal.me/HitSquadTV. And we're going to get you fitted in some Team Hit Squad gear. Make sure you fit the profile of the greatness that is Team Hit Squad. Hit Squad University East is happening January 6, 2019. The address is 1779 North Spring Garden Avenue in DeLand, Florida. The coaches that will be there are Coach Victor Dutch, 2-time Open Division champion for the Diamond City Miners; Dizzy Izzy, which is a World Cup gold medalist and currently skates for Duval and the Attack Pack; the hometown hero Olivia Glisson, the youngest signed S1 athlete, the youngest player to ever play for dual leagues in JRDA, and is a World Cup silver medalist. Then we have Speed Bryu, the 2-time Open Division champion and is a World Cup gold medalist. He's a leader, a go-to person, stand-up person as well. And last but not least, our special guest coach, number 111, skates for New Jack City, Jacksonville Roller Derby. We have Jam Starella. Jam Starella has a gold medal in quad speed skating, silver in WFTDA playoffs a few years back, and is beloved by the roller derby community. I'm also going to be there. I'm going to be teaching video. I'm also going to be teaching social media, branding, and whatnot. So if you are interested in that, please sign up. It is going to be January 6th, which is a Sunday, 2019. And it is at 1779 North Spring Garden Avenue, DeLand, Florida. So make sure you go and check it out. And if you are interested in holding a Hit Squad University in your city, please message us at any of the social media platforms, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, our website, our email, whatever you want to do. Please find us and message us. We'll make sure to bring that over to your town. And last but not least, before we get to our main subject, we have a roller derby art show being thrown by us here at Hit Squad TV and the good people at the Alley Gallery in downtown Pomona, right by the Glass House. We're going to have Cloak. Cloak is going to be creating a mural for Hit Squad TV for roller derby, and it's going to be painted on the wall, and there's going to be photography from Tough Girls on 8 Wheels, Michael Weiss, as well as Tristan King. The Angry Artist will have some art on display as well. I'll have a few stories of some of my favorite moments in the sport, the importance of growing the sport through junior participation, as well as, hopefully having Tristan and Michael being able to tell their stories as well. Maybe it can be inspirational, maybe it's just to have a good time. Who knows? But either way, the address is 101 South Main Street, Pomona, California. Make sure you come out, check out the art. All of the art galleries are going to be open for you to visit. So it's not just going to be art and roller derby. As soon as you walk out of the building, there's everything happening. I'm interested in even wanting to go down there and check everything out. It's downtown Pomona. It's beautiful down there. So one more time, 101 South Main Street, Pomona, California. And that is going to be on the 12th of January, which is a Saturday. So if you are able to join us, please come out and celebrate the 2019 season right with coming out and celebrating in a different fashion. Not a bar, not to try and get you drunk, not to get you inebriated in any way, but to kind of appreciate roller derby for the art that it truly is. So make sure you come out and you support Hit Squad TV, and you support all of our local photographers and artists as well. So now that we got all of that fun stuff out of the way, I brought it down to 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm getting faster, everyone. I'm getting faster. We're getting through those announcements first. But today's subject: looking at the bright side. It's never easy. Loss of a loved one, rejection, breakups, feeling really down on yourself. It's a part of life. And sometimes we need to remind ourselves that the way that we currently feel is a part of life. It's something that sometimes we can't control. Life does its own thing. In the Cambridge Dictionary, looking at the bright side, the definition of it is to find good things in a bad situation. And the example that it gave was, look at the bright side. No one was badly hurt. I'm assuming it was like a bus crash or a freak accident, But I have to a certain extent added that to my repertoire of life. Always attempting to look at the bright side of things. Sometimes it can be really difficult to deal with attempting to look on the bright side. And that's okay. Allow yourself to become vulnerable. Even if it's for a second, a minute, an hour, a day, a week, a month, whatever. Be vulnerable. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you weak at all. It helps you to become in touch with your own inner emotions, because at the end of the day, self-care and self-health is incredibly important. And speaking on that, make sure you know your 5 stages of grief as well. It's very important for you to know when you go into these types of situations. They're not really defined out there. You might not even want to look for any answers because you're so enthralled in your own emotions. And I want to let you know, it's okay. Ask the questions, question everything, but don't allow yourself to live in your emotions. And for the people that would like to know what the 5 stages of grief are, and we'll cover this on another subject on another day, the 5 stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then finally acceptance. Now, all these subjects are all pretty heavy all in itself, so I want you all to kind of stay with me, because I'm telling you there's going to be a lot of positivity that's going to be said. So make sure you stay with me here. So once again, self-care and self-health is incredibly important. Know your 5 stages of grief. Looking on the bright side is always been a staple for Hit Squad TV as far as the growth is concerned. Understand, and this is coming from a musician as well, musicians get rejected about 99.999 infinity. 99% of the time we get rejected. Can you imagine putting your heart and soul in a song and you try to send it out to get published, to get put on a radio or iTunes, and it gets flat out rejected? I was trained on rejection. And it's crazy that an art can be judged and ridiculed and ripped apart, but that's life. You know, as much as we try to change life to try and make it into our own advantage or take it for our own advantage, sometimes life looks at you like, what are you doing? I'm not going to change, and I'm not disappearing. It's up to you to figure out what you need to do to get from point A to point B. So from music and then moving it over here to roller derby, rejection was everywhere. And it still is. Companies not wanting to invest in us. We've gotten no's from plenty of top companies, from SureGrip, from Bont, from Rydell, Chicks and Bowls, and WFTDA, and other major companies. But instead of dwelling on, oh man, Bont and Rydell, Chicks and Bowls, WFTDA, they don't see what I have. They're not appreciating it, and maybe I should stop. No, fam. That's not what we did. What we did was, instead of focusing on the things that were out of our hands, out of our reach, out of our control, we decided to put our focus and put it on things that we can control, that we can turn for our own advantage, and just overall just wanting to help. And then with helping on seeing the bright side, we got a couple of nibbles here and there, but eventually those nibbles turned out to be Anabolix, Mota Skates, Empire Skate Shop, the Big O, and RollerCon. We've been working with RollerCon since 2015. The first year that Hit Squad existed. Around the same time, we hit up SureGrip. We hit up Rydell. We got no replies. I feel like the person that was reading the email laughed. And you know what? That might not even be 100% true, because I was creating that in my mind. I tend to do these type of things for my own self because I know myself. I know that if I feel that someone's doubting me at some point, some way, my first instinct is like, oh, you think you can? Oh, what? I'm going to prove you. That was me walking over to the other side of the room, like pacing, like, oh, you don't think I'm going to be able to do this? Watch me. I work better when I'm doubted. It gets harder when people start believing in you and you have to measure up to those expectations. That is what's very difficult and very scary. And we will discuss that on another topic, because that is a big topic. So we went from getting nibbles to turning those into Anabolix, Mota Skates, the Big O, RollerCon. Now we are the fastest growing derby company in all of roller derby. You figure we don't just do videos. We do interviews. We do behind the scenes looks. We create promotional material for teams, for organizations, for individuals, for big companies now. And that's because we all saw the power of positivity, the power of being able to look at the bright side of things. And those same companies that were not interested in investing in us, honestly, we no longer pay them any mind whatsoever. And it's not because it's being cocky. It's because if you were not there and supporting us during the struggles and didn't see the bright light in us, you don't deserve our hard work to reflect on you. RollerCon, Big O, Mota, Anabolix, Empire. These people believed in us from the very beginning. And because of their belief and they saw the light of what we had, they are now benefiting from it. It might not be an incredible amount by us making them millions of dollars every single month. But we're working. We're working hard. We know that we are sponsored by them. Have it be monetary, have it be anything else. If you believed in me in some sort of way, fashion, or form, you're going to get repaid back handsomely. And it's not to be cocky. It's just for the fact that I appreciate people that believe in us. It's customer service. It's customer service 101. And we're going to talk about that a little later on down maybe in the 25-minute section. I'm not sure yet. It could actually be 35. Or it could be next. I don't know. So, we went from getting nibbles to creating all of this great stuff, and the same companies that didn't pay us any mind or didn't care now want to work with us, and we are saying no for the fact that they did not believe in us. Eventually, later on down the line, time heals all wounds. I can't blame Bont, Rydell, Chicks and Bowls, and even WFTDA for not believing in us and seeing us, because I also realize too that these are big established companies. How would it be that they all of a sudden turn their attention and start focusing on what my ideas were? And they're like, oh, this guy over here is absolutely correct. We should believe in everything that he's doing. I get it. I 1,000,000% get it. I know I came up to Bont and Rydell and Chicks and Bowls and WFTDA. Like I asked my appropriate questions. I asked politely and I was rejected. Some of them didn't even bother to message back. And that's what's embarrassing. Not for me, for you as a company. Because you just never know the person that you're dealing with on the other side, the one that you're ignoring and having that conversation, you never know what they will become. Keep that in mind. You will never know what that person becomes. If you're being an a-hole to a player, to a kid, to an associate, an employee, you don't know what they are truly capable of. Reply to them. Be nice to them. Be good with them. Even if you can't offer a job to them, let them know that, hey, we see you, and although we can't pay you for your talents at this moment, we see you and we appreciate you. That is exactly what Mota did. Mota was unfortunately not able to pay us at that exact moment, but knowing the fact that they were able to see what we offer, what we can do, they encouraged it. And now, years later, we are now working together, smiling and all happy, knowing the fact that I'm helping someone that believed in me from the very beginning. And although they weren't able to financially support me in creating this content, I knew that there was an end game there. I knew that if I worked hard enough and I showed my creativity and my willingness to sacrifice and to make things happen, I will become an invaluable member anywhere I go. And that is what I aim to do. Now, in this current climate of the world and in the sport of roller derby, being positive can almost seem like a curse. Everyone wants to be angry now. Everyone wants to voice their own opinion. And if you don't agree with it, you're screwed. You're afraid of what you are going to say. Like, sometimes I haven't had this problem because I'm just so focused on myself and my company and making sure we are working that I don't pay attention to a lot that's going on. But those couple seconds that I do pay attention, what I see is people are afraid of what they are going to say because they're afraid of being misinterpreted, and they use that same misinterpretation and use it against you. Going against the grain can potentially cost you a lot. And here are a few tips to help you, stay positive. And this is from an article from bustle.com. And this article is called The 7 Ways to Look on the Bright Side and Be Positive. Tip number 1, get rid of all your negative thinkers. I remember being 24, that's all I was surrounded by. Just a bunch of people that wanted to party, have a good time, and that's all they strive to do and want to be. I didn't want to do that. So when I started saying that I wanted to travel and be a musician and do this and that, those same people that I thought were my friends and had a great time going to parties and social events, they were the first ones to turn on me, thinking negative. Nah, bro, that's fucking stupid. Why are you gonna do that? Nah, man, why would you even think that? You know you ain't gonna amount to anything. And then they give you a quick little joke nudge, you know what I mean? But I'm here to tell you something. Even when people say something mean and then they say just kidding after, they're not kidding. They just want to see what they can get away with. And if they see that you didn't take it in the right way, they will quickly say just kidding. Try that next time. Pay attention to who you have around you. Number 2, share positivity with others. I try to be as positive as I humanly can. There's some days where I just can't. I can't be positive all the time. But at least 5 out of the 7 days out of the week, I attempt to be positive, and I try to share positivity. And I share positivity by looking more on the bright side of things. And it's kind of repetitive on what we're talking about. So I'll move to the next subject because that kind of ties in to number 4 and number 5. But we're on number 3 right now, which is find the silver lining, meaning find the positive within the negative. I know when my grandfather died at the age, when I was 17, when he passed away, I wanted to give him my diploma personally. And unfortunately, he passed away months before I was able to graduate. But I maintained and kept my promise, and I graduated. And within all that, the only silver lining that I thought I could pull out from there was I graduated from my grandfather. Not realizing that there was more in there. There was more gifts in the negative that I was bearing myself with. There is the fact that when I get severely influenced, I go do things. I make things happen. And just a lot of more emotional things that came out of that I was able to deal with tragedy and heartbreak and my mother crying, and I was able to handle all that. And I'm very thankful, not thankful obviously that my grandfather passed away, but that I was able to go through it and be able to see the other side positively. Number 4, and this is huge to me, practice gratitude. You know how many people I've held doors for? Any gender, any age. People aren't saying thank you. There's this misconnect, and I think I can't really speak for the world, so I'm not going to. But for me personally, I love saying thank you very much. I like giving respect. Being happy is being able to vibrantly give this vibe to other people. You passing by smiling should be almost infectious. And that's who I am. That's who I try to become. And I learned that from Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl isn't necessarily the most positive person in the entire world, but everything that this man says is super positive, and I've took it to heart on everything, from the way he approaches music, his family, his life in general, how he keeps everything. And between all of that, he's always showing gratitude to the people that helped him along the way. And I try to be that same person every single day, to give gratitude to my son, my wife, my mom, my dad, my sister, to the fans out there that are listening to this podcast or following us on all of our social medias. Like, I try to be, it's not even trying, it's just I genuinely am grateful for everything that's been given to me. And number 5, or not and number 5, we still got a couple more, but number 5, separate facts from fiction in your own life. Now, Travis Bradberry, emotional intelligence and leadership writer, said it is important to separate fact from fiction when thinking about negative aspects of our own lives. He recommended writing down exactly what you are thinking in order to evaluate its veracity. This is very important. You can bet that statements aren't true anytime you see words like never, always, worst, ever, etc. Do you really ever always lose your keys? Of course not. Perhaps you forget them frequently, but most days you do remember them. Are you never going to find a solution to your problem? If you really are that stuck, maybe you've been resisting asking for help. Or if it really is an intraceable problem, then why are you wasting your time beating your head against the wall? Be mindful. If you're stressing out about something that isn't true or hasn't happened yet, be mindful about it. So once again, if you are feeling anything and you like, I catch people all the time saying, oh, I always lose this. If you can write it down and you see and even if you don't want to write it down, if you verbally say it, and in in between that sentence, you say words like never, always, worst, ever, like, those are more than anything, more than likely are things that aren't, they're fake. They're fake. We're creating it. They're fake. There's no other easier way to say that. So moving on to number 6, pick a positive thought. This one helped me out a lot through those first few almost years when I lost my grandfather and I moved out of the house and I was really truly on my own. I was able to pick a positive thought. If there is a day that you are looking forward to, like, have that be your focus. If in a month from now you're going to go travel to go play a bout somewhere, if that's what's positive for you that will keep you going, have that be your main focus and have that tunnel vision. Does your family make you happy? That's your powerful thought. It's like Peter Pan. You remember the grandfather? He lost his marbles. It also being like a code name for losing your happiness. You remember how the grandfather seemed like he refound his happiness and was even able to fly after? That's positivity. And happiness can do that to you. So pick a positive thought, hold on to it, and watch yourself skyrocket. And last but not least, number 7, simply move more. When sad thoughts start weighing me down personally, I'll go outside, I'll go for a walk or do a few sit-ups, do a few push-ups, anything to engage my mind to allow myself to move away from that negative space is always something that I personally like to do. When I'm feeling stuck, when I'm feeling sad, I don't stay in the same place that made me sad or keeps me sad. I want to have human interaction with people, even if it's something that some people don't necessarily like to do. Humans are annoying. I don't know what your thought process is, but it's nice to communicate, even if it's with your dog or an inanimate object. Being able to open your mouth and verbally say what's going on with you as opposed to just keeping it inside yourself. That's killer. Being able to verbally say it is half the battle. And that's probably the hardest. People admitting faults. I have major faults in my own life. I know I get too overly focused. Sometimes, not even sometimes, I don't pay attention to my family as much as I should because I get entrapped and enthralled in my work because I wear so many different hats. But instead of just focusing on the negative, I'm focusing on the positive. My wife is doing the same thing now where she's no longer focusing on like, well, we don't spend time together. Instead, we try to build family time around even my own work times. Like, I'm unfortunately not able to move around and do much, but I'm able to record this podcast and hang out with my son or do different types of editing, always trying to find the bright side on the things. And I also have this other article from inc.com, inc.com, stating the 10 positive quotes that will help see the bright side. And instead of getting 10, I got you 20. And we are going to start on number 20. I like to go backwards instead. So, actually, let's start from number 1. None of these are really listed in order anyway. So, 10 positive quotes. Sorry about that. 20 positive quotes that will help you see the bright side. Number 1. The hardest thing to do is to be yourself, especially when everyone is watching. Dave Chappelle. I love Dave Chappelle. And I absolutely agree. The hardest time, you can see people start folding under the pressure of having to confide or be part of society in their own thinking. They're too afraid to stand up on their own 2 feet on their own beliefs. You could even go further with Logic, for example. Logic, the MC. He almost suffers from that type of thing as well. Be true to yourself. Of course, he's being true to himself with the music that he makes and all of that stuff, as well as the message. But it's so general. He's not pinpoint specific on particular stands. Instead, he grabs a general census of the world and speaks general. I remember seeing an article where they were trying to compare Eminem to Logic. Eminem, why doesn't people respect Logic the way that they respect Eminem? And the reason why is because Eminem was able to focus on particular subjects in his life and did not care about what other people thought. Logic is 100% the opposite. I don't want to say 100%. That's way too harsh. Way too harsh, and I apologize for that. But that is the difference between Logic and Eminem. Eminem, regardless of what he was believing, and I'm not saying that everything that he believed in, I believed in. No. By no means that I believe in everything he said. But he held on to it and he believed in it, and people started believing in him. And let's take all of that negative stuff that he was doing. Look at when he was struggling with drug addiction from his first album, second album, third album. Then he was finally able to go into recovery, and he failed, went back, and now he's clean. He is an inspiration to people that are drug addicts, that had talent and didn't allow their drug addiction to take them down. We can relate to that type of story. With Logic, we have not been able to relate to that yet, other than the great song. I forgot what the name of it is. I know it's the phone number, but if he was to go further, deeper into it, like what got the person to that point in the first place, like it's easy trying to focus on a positive thought, but it's harder trying to really focus on the uncomfortableness. And positivity nowadays is very uncomfortable. People don't like seeing you positive because they'll call you fake. Don't worry about all that. Number 2, on the 20 positive quotes that'll help you see the bright side. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. Plateau. Let me read it again for the people in the back. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. Number 3, don't be intimidated by what you do not know. That can be your greatest strength, and ensure that you do things differently from everyone else. Stop trying to be like everyone. Be yourself. Be yourself. Number 4. Once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start seeing positive results. Willie Nelson. Number 5. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Number 6. We build too many walls and not enough bridges. Isaac Newton. We build too many walls and not enough bridges. Number 7. You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. Abraham Lincoln. Number 8. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. That's powerful. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. Number 9, by John D. Rockefeller. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. I had recently heard this one, and this completely reflects my 2018. Mid-June 2018, I quit my full-time job. I quit something good to go for something great, which is what we are doing here now today. Whatever you have that is good, cherish it. Really, really do cherish it. But if you know you have this calling, you know you have to sacrifice and risk. You have to jump to be great, to go to that greatness. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Number 10. You just keep pushing. You just keep pushing. I made every mistake that could be made, but I just kept pushing. Number 11. I don't measure a man's success by how high he climbs, but how high he bounces when he hits the bottom. Number 12. I am the greatest. I said that before I even knew I was. Muhammad Ali. A lot of people can take that as being cocky. I take that as being confident. And that's a line that I remember Jadakiss said on New York, the song New York, with Ja Rule and Fat Joe. And no, I'm not cocky, I'm confident. So when you say that I'm the best, it's a compliment. Believe in yourself. I tell myself I'm the best in the world. And I'll put them on videos too. Best in the world. People take it as like, wow, you're being cocky. Nah. I'm not. I'm confident. I know in actuality, my technical skills and my filming, they're not the best. Steven Spielberg much? I know I'm not the best. But confidence-wise, you couldn't tell me jack anything. If I believe it in my own self, it's going to be really hard to stop me. And that's exactly what it was meant to do. This next one is from Gandhi, number 13. Keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive because your habits will become your values. And keep your values positive, because your values will become your destiny. Wow. Look that up. Look up that Gandhi quote. It's beautiful. Keep your thoughts positive. Number 14, by Sugar Ray Robinson. Which, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, Sugar Ray Robinson had a son that played in the old school roller derby back in the late 60s, early 70s. Pretty cool. So, Sugar Ray says, to be a champ, you have to believe in yourself when no one else will. That's 100% true. All the Team Hit Squad athletes that we have today, I saw that they were champions. I saw a lot of great and goodness in them. Their leadership, their positivity. Speed Bryu, that's why I locked them in. Olivia, Mount Crushmore, Lil Regulator. The original 4 Team Hit Squad athletes were juniors, not adults, juniors. Because we realize that they are the future. And we realize that right now, although they are doing fantastic and incredible things, WFTDA, MRDA, these people don't really care. Some of the fans out that watch Derby don't care for JRDA. And that's okay. I want them to turn a blind eye, because I want to work with them. And I want to help them reach the heights that they want to reach. So once they do get to WFTDA and all of these companies like, I don't know, Rydell and all of them are like, hey, we want to sign you. And they're like, nah. Because you were not there when we were growing. You didn't even bother to turn your shoulder. Why would I help build your company? I'd rather work with people that believe and love me. So be very mindful of who you talk to and how you talk to them. Whether it's someone that's just starting out as a skater, you don't know who they become. That one skater that you was smack talking to at their first practice can eventually become a Demand a Riot, Scald Eagle, Lady Trample. Be kind. Be courteous. Moving forward, number 15, I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took any excuse. Florence Nightingale. Number 16, fall 7 times, stand up 8. Number 17, like the wind that carries one ship east and another west, the law of autosuggestion will lift you up or pull you down according to the way that you set your sails of thought. Napoleon Hill. So wherever you put your mentality, wherever you put your sails, that's where you're going to get pushed. If you're going to set your sails towards positivity, that is where you're going to end up. If you're going to set it up in negativity, that's exactly where you're going to end up. Number 18, by John Lennon. They told me I didn't understand the assignment. I told them they didn't understand life. Whew. I like that one. Number 19. I have found the paradox that if you love until it hurts, there can be no more hurt, only more love. Mother Teresa. And last but not least, number 9, I'm sorry about that. Last but not least, happiness is a quality of the soul, not a function of one's material circumstances. Aristotle. And those were the 20 facts that can help you see more positive light. And you can find this article on inc.com, INC.com. And look, before I let you go, I know life isn't all, sunshine and rainbows. I've hit rock bottom twice in my life. No money, emotionally and physically broken. But the one thing that never broke was my will. My will became my confidence. That became my weapon, my shield. From having nothing to where I am today, I wouldn't be here smiling if it wasn't for those tough ends of life. My belief is that we have to feel sadness in order to truly love, appreciate, and understand happiness. And on that note, I want to thank each and every single individual that's tuned into the Team Hit Squad podcast. Before I let you go, got to give a shout out to the sponsors. Anabolix Skate, check them out at anabolixskate.com. Hit Squad TV gets you 10% off. EmpireSkateShop.com, you use Hit Squad TV, gets you 10% off. Rollercon.com, make sure you get your tickets and we'll see you out in Vegas. Is it July yet? Motaskates.com, for the skater, by the skater. And finally, BigOTournament.com. It's coming at you May 3rd, May 5th. Make sure you get your tickets, or make sure that you get the live stream, because the live stream is always wonderful. This has been another episode of the Team Hit Squad podcast. Thank you everyone that's tuned in, hoping that our positivity can help you go through life and navigate a better life through these trenches of negativity and stuff like that. Anyways, I will see y'all back tomorrow. Peace.